What is up, guys? What is up, guys? And I will be today reviewing the new Rings of Saturn album, Dingir, as I'm calling it. For those who don't know, Rings of Saturn are a technical deathcore band, or my personal favorite genre tagline is aliencore. This is their new album. And Rings of Saturn are personally a band that I've never really found enjoyable. I usually lump them in the category with bands like Brain Drill and uh, Necrofascist. Bands that are, while technically, very technically gifted in all sides, their music just usually, they're musically pure shit and just really can't form a good cohesive song. I'm not saying that all the times they can't, but saying most of the time. Rings of Saturn, on the other hand, with this new album, for some reason I'm really digging it. I mean, I'm usually not a fan of this style of very technical death metal, but there's something about it that just really makes it stand out. The guitar tone is absolutely fantastic. It's pretty much like a mix of Velemai's very gainless tone with yet the very bass-heavy tone of Whitechapel, and that's a perfect way of describing the tone for me. It's got a lot of sweeps. Their guitarist, if there's just one, I think there's two though. He's amazing. I mean, his guitar in this is absolutely insane. Constant amounts of sweeps, and it's weird because bands like Origin, for example, I can really like their songs, and this actually at times does remind me of a mix between Brain Drill and Origin. Yeah, the guitars are insane. There's some really great breakdowns here. These are some really just, it's literally like a fucking bomb of bass, essentially, with bass string just blasting off into your head. They're great. Their breakdowns are really memorable. Um, the sweeps, like I said, are insane. They're very gifted guitarists. I think one of them's Asian, so that pretty much brings it all up. You know, oh, all Asians can play guitar well. No, well, it's actually true. Oh, fuck. YOLO. I hate that. The bass guitar, unfortunately, does get drowned out a little bit here, but you can still hear it very much. The bassist isn't doing anything too crazy. It's not like the bassist from Brain Drill, who's just like doo-doo-doo-doo. The drums here, some people have been complaining about how triggered the drums are. I understand that there's a need for them, and that, you know, when you're playing at speeds like this, I'm going to keep referencing this band Origin, because that's the closest thing I can think of when I listen to this album. You can definitely tell they're triggered, but they're triggered in a really nice way that doesn't essentially overpower everything. If anything that overpowers anything in this record as far as the instrumentation goes, it's definitely the guitars. They're really heavy in the mix. The drums are kind of pushed back. Then we get to the vocal section. Now, I'm taking a shot in the dark when I'm saying this, but the vocalist pretty much reminds me of Mitch Luker from Suicide Silence. I have no idea why. I'm sorry if you get offended, boo-hoo. Sure make it 4 times bigger. But I actually do like his voice, whoever the singer is. Even though he does have that Mitch Luker tone, it feels like his voice, but in the right form of music, and it feels like it's naturally with the music. It doesn't feel automated or programmed or used vocal harmonizers. It just feels like it's like being in the right place in the right time. This is essentially what his vocal style is. It's your kind of deathcore with a mix of the high screams to the low growls. It works really well in the music. Songs like Shards of Scorched Flesh, which is pretty much just straight up technicality to the utmost. His vocals go really nice with that song, and the pace of the guitars and the drums. Objective to Harvest, the opener, I really liked it. I thought it set great tone for the rest of the album. Probably my favorite part, though, is the breakdown. They're just crushing in every sense of the word. If I had to say another thing about this album that is sort of a negative, it sounds the same. This is pretty much with every kind of technical death album you'll find these days. I understand with an album that you have to keep a certain idea in mind of what your sound is going to be, no matter what kind of experimentation you throw into it. But after a few tracks, it starts to blend in. But if you really take a look at it and listen to it piece by piece and give it a good, honest listen, you'll find that this is a very technically gifted band. They know how to write technical songs of the utmost technicality, but they know how to do it in a much in an enjoyable way. Another example would be like this new Spawn Possession album. They're similar in the style that they know how to write technical death metal songs, or deathcore in this way, and that they feel like they're perfectly in place, and that while there is a ton of just guitar wankery going on, they can truly enjoy the music without being lost in the technicality. And that's what I think really works for this album, just pure enjoyability. I always emphasize this in some of my reviews and in life in general when I talk to people about shit like this. It's technical to like up to here, but it's really enjoyable because they know how to bring that technicality together inside the songs. So aside from a few questionable production ideas, and that it blends in after a while, this is a pretty solid technical deathcore release. I love the breakdowns, I love the guitar tone, the riffs are insane, the drums are awesome in this, the vocalist really fits in well, the bass is nice and warm. All in all, I'll have to give this probably a solid 8.25, something like that. Really enjoyable. I didn't expect to enjoy it that much, and for its runtime, it's just the right pace. So until next time, keep it metal, subscribe, preach.